Hello New Zealand, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, we're tracking another named tropical cyclone. This is it up here to the northwest over Vanuatu. This is Tropical Cyclone Oma, named by the Fiji Met Service. It's expected to get Category 2 strength and linger for a few days in this area, affecting Vanuatu and New Caledonia, and then it may well sit in this zone out here for over a week. It is certainly one to keep an eye on, but at this stage does not pose a direct threat to New Zealand. These two other tropical storms we're monitoring aren't likely to become cyclones, but possibly could very briefly, but it's all caught up in this big flow, so it's worth keeping an eye on what is happening up there. Further south, we've got a cold front coming in. It's not here yet. We've got a pretty warm Wednesday on the way for most places. In fact, most are warmer than average. This is the latest tracking out of the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, the US government, showing the tracking. It's probably a little confusing to look at, but it is very slowly moving like that. And the reason why there's all these lines is because they sort of put a circle around where all the winds are each day, and because the storm's barely moving, they're all sort of overlapping. So it's a very slow moving system. There'll be a lot of rain and wind for those islands over the next couple of days. Let's get back more towards New Zealand now for Thursday. So there's the cyclone, there are the two other weakening lows, and you can see it's all caught up in that one sort of system. Further south, you go south of that red line, that's basically the dividing line between the thick tropical air and the sort of normal temperate stuff we have around us. But although in saying that, it is warmer than average in most parts of the country. However, this cold front will be changing things in the south on Thursday. So hot ahead of it, where you'll be in the late 20s and still maybe the early 30s, but further south, much cooler with some rain on the west coast spilling over into Southland and Otago. On Friday, not a great deal of change. In fact, things just warm up very briefly down here. Sorry you're so far down the screen. It's just that we're trying to focus on the obvious storms to the north. But there's another front coming through. It'll warm up a little bit from Thursday's cool down. So Friday's a milder day in some areas, perhaps not so warm further north though, and mainly dry. And the storm up there is still pretty big. Let's go to the weekend, Saturday. So stormy conditions, that cyclone barely moving. It's now sort of affecting New Caledonia as it slowly tracks a little south. This other low, this other small storm is still to our north, and obviously there's a lot of rain falling. We talked about this yesterday, over 400 millimetres of rain likely just north of New Zealand, while we get almost nothing because of this high. This high is pushing in and it is stopping those rainmakers from dropping further south. On Sunday, no real change again. It might be a little colder. I forgot to mention that on Saturday in the south. On Sunday, it may be a little cooler to wake up, but overall, it's not a bad day. It just might be a couple of showers and a bit of cloud lingering around, especially on the eastern side of New Zealand. To the north, we've still got that rain sitting out there. And then we get to Monday of next week. That cyclone's still sitting near New Caledonia. It's moving a little bit further out to the Coral Sea, and that's probably a better place for it to grow. It may well become a severe Category 3 and above tropical storm, and it could be up there for over 10 days. So very slow moving. It reminds me a little bit of Cyclone Winston we had a couple of years ago, which did a similar thing. So this is going to be one on our maps for some time, but does not pose a direct threat to us. This other low doesn't either, but there could be another cyclone forming after all of that. And as you can see, in New Zealand on Monday, we've still got those showers up along the eastern side. Nothing too major in there, and mostly sunny for everybody else. That is all from me. We'll update you again tomorrow, Friday, with the very latest as we head in towards the weekend.